Ladies and gentlemen, we are back here on the countout. Now, we're going to move on to the next topic of discussion here, and it is something that will shake up the. Hmm. What can possibly be the word that I can look for here? It will. This will have a huge impact on the WWE. I'll put it like that. Put it plain and simple. And that is the injury to the WWE champion. Well, at this point, former WWE champion Seth Rollins. Now, it's not. This is not a kayfabe injury. This is not an injury where they just say it so they might go off and shoot a movie or have time off. No, this is a legitimate injury. Okay, they're not going to do this with the WWE champion. They're not going to have the WWE champion, who at this point is becoming the face of the company, if not already. They're not going to have him have be kayfabe injured, and he's a WWE champion. Doesn't make sense. He legitimately got injured. He was at a house show. He was facing Kane. He tried to powerbomb Kane into a table. Well, it was more of like a monkey flip power or sunset flip powerbomb, excuse me. And as he landed on the canvas, his knee buckled and the muscles in his knee pretty much tore. He pretty much shredded his whole knee. That's the way I could put it. And he continued the match, but he will be out for 6 to 9 months. So it's a pretty serious matter. And so to give you the details, I'm not sure if it was right or left knee, but in that it was his right knee. So in his right knee, he tore his MCL, his ACL, and meniscus. Basically, he just shredded every muscle in his knee. People, people joke about, Derrick Rose getting knee injuries, but he's never torn all three of these muscles and tendons at once. Okay, this is MCL, ACL, and meniscus tear. You could catch the video of it. You could look for it. I warn you, it's not extremely graphic, but it's not something that you'll be comfortable looking at really. But Seth Rollins is injured for a long time. He won't be back until 2016. Although it's already November, so I mean it's not really that long. But he won't be back till mid to late 2016. He might even be back next year until SummerSlam. That's how long this is. And so, he did the thing that really gets me is that this was at a house show. This proves really that Seth Rollins really loves his craft. He really loves wrestling. He this is really what he cares about. And and the thing that really got to me was you saw the injury happen. The people in the crowd saw the injury happen, and yet he still continued on with the match. And after the match was over, he ended up, getting stretched out of the ring. And so I felt like that was pretty commendable, honestly. That proves that Seth is a warrior. He wants to put a show on for the fans. When he comes back, it's going to be really, really hard for him to come back as a heel. It just wouldn't make sense. He's going to come back. He's going to be babyface. He has to be babyface. If he's not, then that is a huge booking mistake by Vince or by Triple H, whoever controls the creative. Whoever controls the creative aspect of pro wrestling, they'll make a huge mistake by booking Seth Rollins as a heel when he comes back. It just doesn't make sense. And that is the reason why they're going to have a tournament. No, I said tournament. Oh, well. How they're going to have a WWE Championship tournament starting tonight on Raw in Manchester, England. It's to determine who, you can only go so long with having a vacant champion. They can't have a vacant champion, and they're going to I believe the tournament's going to also continue on SmackDown as well. So that will actually give people a reason to watch SmackDown, because I don't. And I know a majority of wrestling fans don't, because there's no point. The point of watching wrestling the point of watching every week, really, is to catch up on what stories are occurring, catch up on who's the number one contender for a certain title, who has a feud with who. The thing about SmackDown is that doesn't help any of that, because on SmackDown the same people would appear on both Raw and SmackDown. The same, it'd basically be like the same matches or unimportant matches or squash matches on SmackDown. That's why no one watches it, or also because it's on Sci-Fi and no one goes on Sci-Fi. Let's all be honest. So that might give a reason to watch SmackDown, but that's the reason why they're gonna have a championship tournament. And also another thing to keep note of, this will be the first Monday Night Raw that Seth Rollins has missed since his debut in 2012. He has been on every single Monday Night Raw for 2012, 13, 14. Okay, if you count 2012, that's 4 consecutive years of not missing a single Monday Night Raw. That really is an accomplishment. He was going to lose the championship eventually, but nobody wanted to see it happen this way. Seth is one of the best performers in the WWE. He's one of the most talented, if not the most talented. If you watch this guy in the ring, he is phenomenal. He will put you on the edge of your seat. He doesn't even have to let his promos do the talking. Just watch him in the ring, and you could see why he's the real deal. You can see why he's the man. He's the face of the company. I'm a fan of Seth Rollins. Don't love his character. I don't hate it, but I don't really love his character. But he's a great wrestler in general. So I mean, it doesn't really matter if you like him or not. You have to know that this guy is one of the best. And he actually had a really long title. He had the longest championship reign for longer than any previous Money in the Bank briefcase holder, you'd call it, I guess. I can't say for every Mr. Money in the Bank, that it doesn't sound right. But I'm just going to say for every Money in the Bank briefcase holder, he's had the title for the longest. Meaning he's had the title longer than anyone who's cashed it in. He's had it longer than Edge's 2 times. He's had it longer than Del Rio. He's had it longer than Rob Van Dam. He's had it longer than all of them. And that really proves that Seth Rollins is here and he's here to stay. Now, this injury, of course, is unfortunate. I believe he started his surgery either yesterday or today, maybe this morning. I'm not sure, but it was either yesterday or today he started his surgery, so he'll be out for a good 6 to 9 months. And this actually does not bode well because it doesn't bode well, but it does bode well at the same time. The reason why it doesn't bode well is because one of the issues that one of the issues that WWE has had was that they've had very few championship contenders. Their championship, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship contender, I guess, list is very, very thin. The number of contenders in the WWE are really thin, and the WWE, the creative team, are partly to blame for that. Vince McMahon is partly to blame for that. Bray Wyatt should be up there. Dean Ambrose should be up there. He was at one point, but then he got bumped down in the mid card. If you give him a character, one that actually is engaging, Cesaro could be up there. But no, they have old fossils like Kane. There's a point where the Big Show might have been that. Brock Lesnar, that's fine. He's still young, he's still a beast, but they need to build up new stars. I guess Roman Reigns is up there too now. And so this does bode well because now they had the opportunity to create brand new championship contenders, create new stars, and basically freshen up, I guess you'd say, the stench of the WWE that they've had for the past couple of months. Reason being, their ratings have been awful. They've been dreadful. They've been through the tubes, and there needs to be some kind of rejuvenation. And I feel like this is one of the things that will rejuvenate it. Of course, build up new stars. This really, if they do this right, this can really help their product. Now, there are a couple of possibilities as to who's going to be champion. I'm 90% sure. You know what? Okay, I'll stick with my guns here. I'm 90% sure that the champion's going to be Roman Reigns. Honestly, I knew Roman was going to become number 1 contender. Everyone saw it from a mile away because he's a big guy. Sure, he might not be good at promos, but he's big and strong. And Vince McMahon loves pushing those guys rather than the guys that have pure wrestling talent. I'm not saying Roman Reigns sucks. He's gotten better, but he's still not up to that level yet. I think, honestly, bigger wrestlers are kind of, the fact that they're big kind of hinders them, but that's beside the point. We all saw Roman Reigns getting pushed from a mile away, so I knew he was going to be number 1 contender, but now that Seth Rollins is out of action, it's almost guaranteed that you're going to see him become champion. A possibility could be John Cena coming back. Yeah, I don't want to see that. He's been champion so many times, it's becoming stale, just like his character. Brock Lesnar could come back. Or not come back, he could show up, because if Brock Lesnar enters the tournament, he's going to win. He's going to win. They're not going to have Brock Lesnar to lose. It could be The Undertaker, even though he's almost 50. He is 50, actually. The Undertaker can come back and win a title. Or some possibilities could be Dean Ambrose. But the more likely possibility will be Roman Reigns. I doubt Brock is going to come back just to fight on Raw. But if it's for a title, that could be enticing, so we'll see what happens. But the tournament will start tonight on Raw, and we will see who will be champion. Luckily, it's not going to be vacant. I guess that wasn't a good joke. That was kind of a miss. Anyway, the title will not be vacant for that long. Now, the WWE, according to the website, they haven't made it clear whether the conclusion of the tournament is going to be tonight, next Monday. It more than likely will be next Monday. It could be SmackDown, whatever it may be. But there will be a newly crowned WWE champion very, very soon. And it should be soon because Seth is going to be out for a while. So, best of health. That doesn't make sense. Get well soon, Seth. you know, when Seth comes back, he'll have a huge crowd pop. I can just anticipate it, and he'll be right back in the title picture where he should be, because he's one of the most talented guys. And you know what, 6 9 months, that's horrible, but Seth will come back. Hopefully, he'll come back stronger, and best of luck to him. Hopefully he has successful surgery, which he should. Don't see why he wouldn't. And that is all for the news on Seth Rollins' injury. Now, on the next segment, I'll be talking about what I think is the best and worst of the week. Not really many things of note. A few small things, really. But overall, it was a pretty decent week for the WWE. So this is mostly going to be good news, or what I think is some of the best things. So that will be discussed after this break, and we will be right back on the countdown.